Okay, hello everybody. I've been in Facebook jail forever, it seems. This is not about a chicken kill. This is about the tickets they're issuing. So this is very interesting. I'm going to flip the camera so I can explain this whole thing. Okay, here we go. The tickets that I got back in September, which they backdated one, and then they gave me another one that day. That was raid 4. So I got these 2 tickets, and the violation of the citation, which is the 9703 CCR 30 or 1301.8A2. Okay, what that is for a violation is right here. If you can go ahead and read this, and it basically is if the owner refuses to permit or interferes with any inspection by the state veterinarian, a population of animals, animal product, or premises where they have been present in order for the state veterinarian to ascertain compliance with the notice of required action or any other purpose related to the quarantine. Such refusal shall constitute a violation of quarantine. So that is what the ticket is for. Now, what I did, and this was about a week and a half ago, Matt had this same exact ticket. So I've been in contact with him, and Matt asked me to go to the court with him, and the plan was I was going to speak on his behalf. A lot of people don't know how kind of the courtroom setting goes, how to speak to the judges, and yada yada. So anyway, since I have a lot of experience doing that, the plan was I was going to speak on his behalf, because I have the exact same tickets. Now, I'm going to back this up about shortly after I got these tickets. So these tickets here that I got was on day of raid 4. And I went to court on my honor before date, as I was supposed to, which was right there. 10/4 at 12:30, I went down to the court. They said they had no record of me. Come back later or just keep checking. Lo and behold, I get this form on this day from this courthouse, which is the Buena Vista Court in Corona. So what they checked other is citation filed, contact, honor before 8/11. Okay, so now I've got a new court here in Buena Vista. So I went over there. Hi, I'm here, as I'm supposed to be, and they looked at me like they had no clue what I was doing there, and they knew nothing about me. Then, a couple days later, I get what is called a proof of correction in the mail. You'll notice that date being October 16th. And what they did was on the ticket date that was 10/4, they switched it to 11/15. But keep in mind, this form that I got here was sent out to me on 10/9, which is, again, the wrong, I wouldn't say wrong courthouse, but I went there and they couldn't help me. So they just told me to move along my way. This comes in the mail. Okay, perfect. So they know nothing about me. Now my new date is 11/15. Then I get this in the mail. This is from the Heacock Courthouse, dated 10. Whoops, I think something cut off here live. Okay, so anyhow, back to my ticket problems. So then I get this one on 10/10, and this is back at the Heacock Traffic Court. So I get my honor before day. I show up as I'm supposed to, and I pled not guilty to this. Now, I have a huge thick binder, if you guys can see this, with basically every bit of paperwork that, it's deep. It's a good 6-inch binder. But I've got all my paperwork in this. So I showed up on my honor before. I pled not guilty. They gave me a hearing date, which is coming up here on 3/18, right here. So now that is my trial date. So I have pled not guilty, and this is my trial date. Now, back to Matt. He pled not guilty, and I went to court with him. My plan was to speak on his behalf, which the last time I remembered, you can have anybody testify on your behalf if you choose to. You can go pro per. You can do whatever you'd like to do. So Matt and I step up to the podium, and the judge asks, everybody state their name, which I did. And Matt, basically, we ask about me speaking on his behalf. I was told no. that I needed to have a seat. So I did. I sat down and just waited. Meanwhile, we had, which when you want to talk about resources and I see other pages going, why aren't they enforcing stuff? Why aren't they doing something? Well, I really don't know. But what I can tell you is that day of court, there was 5 CDFA people there. One was Kill Law, which is Andrew Halbert, wearing a baby blue plaid suit. It made my eyes hurt. Yeah. Then we had Julian Contreras there. I believe the other woman was Nancy Nelson. And then we had a black female younger lady with them. So it took 4 of their CDFA people to take Matt to court and go sit there. And believe me, they sit there and just do absolutely nothing. So that's fine. So Matt, I had written him down a little checklist of what he needs to say. And in that checklist, basically it was going back to what this code means, which is basically the refusal or interference. Now, when Killaw went up to the podium, he read off about 4 pages worth of their scripted whatever's crap on their website, the normal stuff, blah, blah. And then it was Matt's turn to talk. And Matt's whole situation was he didn't have the opportunity to refuse or consent to anything because they were already in his backyard when he got home. Now, what did happen about a week earlier with Matt, I did post that video. It was one that John did with him. And on a Sunday late afternoon, workers came to his door and they didn't have any kind of really ID on them. So that day they said they wanted to test, they want to do this, they want to do that. And he said, well, no, who are you? Where is the paperwork to this? I don't even know who you guys are. Well, these workers abruptly left and made words to the effect of, oh, that's how you want to play tough guy. So off they go. They came back on October 1st to his home. He was not home. They didn't cut the locks because the lock didn't have that type of lock, but they went ahead and helped themselves to his backyard. So as Matt walks in the door, they're already all there in his backyard. This is the same gentleman that they were trying to rip the babies, mom off the babies. They had no clue what they were doing. They dropped the swab in the dirt and reused it. In their unskilled, unvetted people, a couple of his exotic pheasants flew off because they left the walk-in coops open. So go figure on that. So anyway, Matt's turn to talk. So he explains his situation. And to me, it felt like the judge really wasn't interested in hearing anything Matt had to say. So he was found guilty of this 1301, refusal or interferes. Well, after Matt is done, they did call me back up and judge made me state my name again, and I did, and I wanted to mention the few things that I understand with this code. If Matt truly did interfere, what I'd like to know is why didn't the officers arrest him? Because they had, 6 CHP easily, and an interference would fall under the 148 penal code, which is impeding, resisting, or delaying. So why wasn't he arrested for a crime? Why was he just given this retarded ticket? The other thing they did on Matt's ticket, they had him sign where the officer is, so there's no offender signature in his box. So they clearly have no clue what they're doing there. Now, on my tickets, which was interesting enough, I'm supposed to have explanations on the back of mine. They gave me the pink copies, which you can see right here is the department copy. So on the back of my citation, it says nothing. So they couldn't even figure out what citation to give or what they're doing. So it's just more incompetence. Now, my date's coming up on March 18th, and I was debating about putting it out there as an event, and all of you folks are more than welcome to show up. It is public, open to the public, and you can hear how this will go down. Because in my situation, we know they killed my birds back in April. It's been almost a year. My birds are dead. I don't have anything. I haven't had anything. They know that, but obviously, because I've spoken up, I get the repercussion and retaliation now. So that's where I'm at. But on the August raid, if everybody remembers, and I'll repost that video, I did not refuse, nor did I interfere. I asked for all parties' identification before opening my gates because I don't let strangers onto my property. Going back to Title 18, if you're here on an investigation, I get to see IDs. I'll repost that video of raid 3. We went back and forth, and that was the one where the car was hiding down the road, which I'm guessing was kill law. Because when they backdated that ticket, when you have here the arresting officer different from citing, that would be A. Halbert, kill law, with that weird baby blue, horrid leisure suit he was wearing. That would be him. So anyway, what happened was he was hiding down the road, and I asked the worker Natalie to please have him come up and give my ID. I didn't know who was in the car at that time. The car drove away on me. So I walked back up to my house, and Natalie is telling me, well, we're going to leave. We're going to leave. I'm like, why are you leaving? You're already here. Just give me your IDs. Tell that car to come back. Give me all the IDs. I'll open the fence. There's nothing here. To make a long story short, that never happened. They canceled the appointment, so she says, and then she says, call PIO. They're waiting for you. Called PIO. They had no clue who I was, and obviously they weren't waiting for me. They directed me to a second number, which was USDA Cantor. I spoke to him on a recorded line twice, asking him, why did your people leave? If you want to look at whatever, you need to come back and look at whatever you want, because I don't want my kids home and terrorized anymore. This is already too many raids. There's nothing here, and you're really traumatizing my kids. But obviously, they didn't seem to care. So that day of August 28th, there was a call placed to POI. There was 2 calls placed to Frederick Cantor, USDA. Then I left a message for Kent Fowler. He did return my call, and I explained to him, have them come back, give me IDs, and I will open my gates. He says, oh, okay. So he said they were not able to make it back out that day. They were too busy. I said, okay, no problem. You need to please call me for an appointment. I will open up gates or do whatever, but I want IDs before anybody enters my property. The second issue that, to me, I have an issue with, it is not necessary to have their whole raid team entering my private property. And reason being is because my horses. On raid 2, when they claimed 2 people were behind my fence, there was more than 2 people back there because my back cameras saw it. But what I did see in that, my horses were going ballistic. And that's not really normal for them to buck and kick and go ballistic. Usually they're happy to see people and they just want food. So it's stressing my animals out to have all this happening. But anyway, it's really not necessary. So then we know raid 4 comes, and I got the whole army here. Now, mind you, I'm pushing 50. I am comfortably overnourished, to say the least. And I am unarmed, and I was in my pajamas. I had a cell phone. I mentioned they can search me if they'd like. There's nothing on my person, whatever. We know how raid 4 went, and that was just kind of jokeable on a good day when they started taking pictures of my container. And then that little tiny little man syndrome guy, Michael Abbott, wrote me these 2 tickets, which I did sign. So those are signed. So now I go back to court on this day at 8 a.m. Now, we'll probably start closer to 9, and that's why I need to check in. Now, here's where this gets kind of really screwy, that I'm not really that comfortable about this. That day when I was with Matt, and this was all last week, and what the judge told me as I was called back up to be his witness, although the judge did not allow me to speak on his behalf or be a witness or be anything for that matter, he told me, oh, you're the lady that has to come back in a few weeks for your own tickets. You can bring your big binder, and I'll see you then. My big binder's this thing. Now, I found that to be very rude, number one, because I've shown respect. I sit where I'm told. I didn't speak until I was asked. I play by their rules because I understand the courtroom. But to have you blatantly tell me you'll see me in 2 weeks with my big book, I'm pretty sure they're going to try to say I am guilty. Now, at this trial, I am able, because I did ask, am I able to show you the videotapes and the recorded line phone calls to show that I called back, and Kent Fowler, director, assured me someone would call to make an appointment with me. Nobody called me. And let's just say this. They know my phone number. They know my email. Clearly, they know where I live. They could have mailed me something for a date. They know how to find me. I'm not real difficult, and they kind of have it out for me anyway. So if if anybody out there has the time available, right here, March 18, 2020 at 8 a.m. Keep in mind, 8 a.m. is a checkout time or check-in time for me. They probably won't start anything till closer to 9. But I say the more the merrier. Come see your tax dollars at work. See how the court operates. See how it goes. See how they're doing. Understand what's happening. Because I understand somebody put in a public records request for all the citations. And I guess apparently there's quite a few. I don't know of all of them. I only know of 4 people that have the citations. So here's my date and time. That's my court, and my plan is to show up, and I have my videos all ready to go to show the judge that I did not impede or refuse, once again to our code here. I did none of the above. As a matter of fact, I called that, one called to POI, 2 to Cantor, and 2 to Kent directors. So I've got, 5-6 phone calls logged on that day that I was assured somebody would call me for that appointment. So I didn't do a refusal or an interference. Again, I will have the same question that they did with the situation with Matt. If I truly was interfering in some way, which would be an example of that would be like me hanging on my gate, blocking them from entering. I'm interfering with their what do they call it? Their freedom stock check or whatever they call it. But if I was truly interfering with all the highway patrols that were there that day, why didn't you just arrest me? Because towards the end of the video, when I was getting the tickets shoved in my face and they couldn't explain to me what they were for, they just kept saying violation of quarantine when I don't have birds. So that was kind of weird. CHP threatened me with an arrest if you don't sign them. Now, okay, so that's that. So anyway, that's my court date. I guess I'll do an event. And you know what? If you guys want to come see everything in action for yourself and see how it all works, then I would say show up. Okay, Highway Patrol, our buddies. Here they are here. Ooh, Highway Patrol. Well, they have this little thing that is called the HPM, Highway Patrol Manual. So as you can see, I have requested many documents due to a friend that is actually pretty high up in Command Highway Patrol, not locally. But he said, go after the HPM. Now what that is, that's the Highway Patrolman's Bible. It tells them exactly how to do everything and anything. Now you can see all these complaints. I have 36 of them listed that I said I need to see a copy of the HPM pertaining to each complaint. Okay, no problem. So I got in contact with our local Southern Division commander. His name is Mario Lucio. So if anybody has any problems with CHP and this chicken fiasco, reach out to him. So I get a thing back here in the mail, February 11th, that for the public records, the copies I want, they want $1,490.40 for the copies I wanted, which I'm like, wow. So they're going to make this so I've got to pay like a ton of money to just get anything out. So far for the public records for this, per my request, there is 4,968 pages worth of Highway Patrol Manual, which is a highly coveted book. It tells them everything, how to do it, what they can do on down to tying their shoelaces. And so if there's 1,400 pages, I guess they're willing to give me, but I got to give them $1,400. So I thought, wow, that's a good way. So you just make it so that it is so unaffordable. Like, do I really want to pay these idiots $1,400 for their manual when these trained highway patrol officers should know what they're doing? And clearly, we've got some issues with them. So I'm going to try to just grab a copy of the HPM myself. It's like I said, it's a very highly coveted book. So coveted that literally in the court, defense attorneys have literally offered thousands to buy this book. The public is not really aware that there is such book. It is given to each fully sworn officer upon completion. And if they lose it or replicate it or whatever, I mean, the fines are huge. I heard somewhere around 10 grand. So it's that coveted. So that's the next I need to get to. However, with Mario Lucio and my personal complaints, because he did not want to handle complaints for anybody else, he wanted everybody individually to call them. So that's what you need to do. So anyhow, that's that. So I have this upcoming court date. Now, item number 2. So obviously I'm always in Facebook jail. I'll probably get it again for this. Now, under another public records request I did, I received about 6,000 documents. Woo, it's a lot. I'm about 2,500 documents deep. Half of these documents are their photocopies of their nonsense. It's already online, so it's kind of really nothing. But that's whatever. That's just how they go. But what I did find on this in my 2,500 page investigation, which, like I said, I have like 4,000 pages more to go. That is where I found the dump situation, the 2-year contracts for the dump. I've got some really interesting emails too. So I'm going to be showing those. Also, I have found an array of federal violations. And this is, I'm shocked and appalled at how sloppy and how stupid they are. Because the situation when everybody keeps saying sue them. Well, it's money because it's the government. Nobody wants to sue the government. But they will try to go with what's called qualified immunity. And all officials will try to get away with this. What it is it basically overrides, pretty much lets them just have a free-for-all and do whatever they want. Now, the clause to claiming that, the qualified immunity to get the officers or officials off the hook for wrongdoing, they have to have violated your rights or some constitutional right or federal law, etc. I got them on that. I will also say, because these people stalk me hard, I've also learned that all of my videos that I do, they are using them and even issuing discipline to people off of my videos. Now, there's a little situation there, and I got to dig a little further on that, but I did not give anybody consent to use those videos or replicate them for your training or any other matter. So that's that. So my Office for the Attorney General complaint is now toppling at about a 42-page with each violation listed, appropriate YouTube videos / paperwork that goes with it, because they need to look into this, because this just isn't right. So anyway, that's kind of the update for now. Don't have a whole lot other than to say. My year's coming up. It's no better over here. It's still like a morgue in the backyard, and it's just a death, yucky place. There is no peace in the home. Doorbell rings, dogs bark. We're all jumping. I'm probably due for another raid. Don't know why, because I don't have anything. Maybe this time they'll actually follow the 5 phone calls and stick to their word and make that appointment if they want to come terrorize me a little bit more. Just make the appointment so they don't cut the lock, so my kids can be at school, and I can secure the dogs so that they don't get impounded or the officers will shoot them or who knows what. So we shall see. So anyway, that's the latest update. If anybody has any questions, just message me or comment here. If anybody wants to see any of this paperwork, I will post it. And as I'm going through the big 6,000 page worth of, oh goodness, it's so long. But I got some pretty interesting emails and a few interesting things that will definitely need to be made public. As far as I'm concerned, the whole 6,000 pages is going to, once I'm done going through it and can try to figure out a way to actually release it on a Facebook. I don't even know how to do that because it's so long, the file folder. So that is what is happening, and that is what's going on with my tickets, March 18th, and it is the Heacock Court. I'll try to have make an event out of it, and if you folks would like to come and see how our court system goes and see how your tax dollars are being spent, yep, come on down and check it out. Why not? So anyhow, yes, they are still killing in Bloomington. I have been in contact with some folks over there. Yes, they are actively killing. And I don't see that they really have any intention to stop. I watched her ridiculous video today, and apparently you need to allow them testing. She says, 2 to 3 times, and she quickly throws in, or 10 to 11 times. I'm sorry, but 11 tests, 10 tests, that's an inconvenience. I don't know. Maybe what they need to do is start paying people for their time when they want to come do their testing. to offset your time and efforts. Maybe they'll get more people willing to participate with their nonsense. Personally, me, like I said, if I ever saw these people anywhere near my pets, I'm taking the pets and they're all gone. I mean, just forget it. They got to go because I don't trust any of them. I have actually emailed our state veterinarian, 3 times asking, because last I was told on that email from her, besides being called a hater and the emoji face with the "you remind me of President Trump," I was told the legal team was to call me. And no legal team has called me. So I did shoot out a few emails to, hey, have them give me a call. I'm waiting. Of course, no response back. So that's kind of where we're at with everything. I'll make an event, create an event for ticket day and have a big old ticket party, I guess. Other than that, not a whole lot new information. Really, it's the same old, just a lot of paperwork like they like to do, just burying paperwork. So if anybody has any questions, just send me a message and I'll help out with whatever I can. Alrighty, and I guess I'll be hopefully seeing a lot of you on the 18th at that Heacock Traffic Court, Moreno Valley.